Hello and welcome back to my chopping block series. This time around it's the second round of single shadows for me. I was focusing on this palette, trying to figure out which shades I want to keep and which ones I want to declutter. So I think let's get right into the video. I am going to talk about each single shade in here. This is the palette again. So for the first one, this is an old depotted sleek eyeshadow, which I decided to keep because it's a unique shade in my collection. It's more of a like a grass green kind of green. So this is staying. I'm keeping the staying in here, the ones that are staying in here. The second one is also an old sleek depotted one, but also a dry repressed one, which I'm also going to keep. And by the way, I'm going to keep more with this than the last time, but yeah, I'm going to show you overall the shades I decluttered overall as well. And the shade that I pressed into an old sleek compact, this old Essence purple shade, I am still keeping again as well, because this is also quite unique. I think this doesn't hold up that nicely as other shades in my collection, but it has a very nice tone to it. So that's why I'm going to keep this as well. Then for the first one I'm decluttering. This is the Touch of Glam I Am What I Amethyst. And I am decluttering this because this has a strong blue base. And I don't know, I just prefer Lucid Lavender over this one, so I don't need this one. Then I can already tell you these 3 square pens I'm going to keep. The first one is this one, and this is Little Cosmetics Lucid. And this one I was debating on because I don't reach for it a lot. But this is a very unique tone in my collection, and I don't have anything similar. Oh, I'm going to keep it, so I swatched it on the wrong hand. I'm going to keep this one. The next 2 are Touch of Glam Beauty ones. This one is Butter Me Up. And this one is Mistletoe. Again, the next 3 I'm going to keep just because I'm unsure about them still. But I don't want to get rid of them. If I have them already in my collection, I want to use them more and see which tone of these iridescent ones I tend to reach for most. So I'm keeping all 3 of them. The first one is Oh Snap by Touch of Glam Beauty. The second one is Pink Platinum by Glam Shop. And the third one is also by Touch of Glam Beauty, and it's called When Fat Decorating is Real. And I really do enjoy this one. I know that I really do enjoy this one. And a shade I'm going to declutter is this Terra Moon's Meteorite. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this one. I'm decluttering this one. And I'm decluttering this one because it's a bit too sparkly for me, for my liking. Then the next two I'm going to keep. Again, a deep-potted sleek eyeshadow. And this gray as well. And the last sleek eyeshadow, this blue metallic, I decided to declutter. Obviously this is not going to a new home. This is super old, so this is actually going in the trash. Then this small sample size of a Natasha Denona shade. I definitely thought I was going to declutter this one because I have another Natasha Denona that I don't really like. But this I'm using on the outer part of my lid, and then I don't have too much of a problem with creasing, so I'm going to keep this. It's a nice shade actually. Then this green matte shade is Sydney Gray's Kiss Me, I'm Irish. I'm going to declutter this one as well. And I'm going to swatch it differently because I don't know why I swatched them out that big. Then Tarte Pop Rock is a very nice formula. I just have this shade over and over again in my collection. So this is going to be decluttered. As for these leafy shades, I'm going to keep all three of them again. So the first one is Habitat. The second one is Limbo. And this is one I thought I'm definitely going to declutter as well, but this is very, very nice. Again, so I'm keeping it. And the last one of the lethal ones, Runaway. For this Claminatrix Nymph one, I'm also going to keep this one. This is stunning. And this is a topper shade, so it's meant to be a bit sheer. One of the few shades in here I'm going to declutter is the Sydney Gray's Always Faithful one. Just because I have a very similar shade that has a little bit of a different tone and I prefer the other one over this one. But otherwise this is lovely. One I'm definitely going to keep is this one by Cleonard, Toadstool. Then this one I was thinking about a lot, but in the end I decided to keep it for now, because this is a unique shade in my collection. Another keep is this Glam Shop Poland Lolita. And then another one I'm not 100% sure about yet, but I'm going to keep for now, is this Touch of Glam Twisted Man Eater. An unexpected keep for me is the Sydney Gray's Emerald Eyes. I thought this is going to be a declutter for sure, but I really enjoyed using this one. Same as this one actually. I definitely thought this is going to be a declutter. But again, this is super unique and it has a bit of a goldeny shift to it, which I really enjoy. So for now I'm going to keep it. I mean, the thing is I purchased these, so why get rid of them if I'm unsure about them or if I want to try them out more. Yeah. And the quality of this one is again super nice. And last but not least, declutter, finally again. This is by Makeup Geek and it's called Mandarin. So this is a declutter for me. even though the quality is also very nice with this one. So this is the result of this chopping block this time around. Out of the palette I did put together, I kept a lot, I think, this time around, but still I managed to declutter 7 eyeshadows, which I'm happy about. Plus I did declutter some more that I didn't show you in the palette previously, but I decided to go through my single shades a little bit, and I found 4 more shades that I want to declutter, which I'm going to show you now. The first one is the Touch of Glam Beauty Bora Bora Ain't That Boring. And I have so many Touch of Glam Beauty eyeshadows in here because I was focusing on them, showing them on my Instagram and YouTube. So I was focusing on them during the last few months. So with other brands, I'm not sure about shadows as well, but I didn't focus on them yet. So yeah, that's the only reason why I have so many Touch of Glam eyeshadows in here, even though the formula is super nice and the colors are nice. And then I'm decluttering 3 Glaminatrix shadows. All of them 3 are mattes. The first one is called Leaf, and I think Glaminatrix mattes are not the best in my opinion, or they're just very deep and I'm so pale that it's hard to blend them, or harder to blend them than other shades or shadows that I do own. And this one is very similar to Kiss Me I'm Irish by Sydney Grace. Then this one is called Desire, and I actually would have kept this one, but I also do have another Sydney Grace eyeshadow that is super similar, and I decided for the Sydney Grace to keep the Sydney Grace and to get rid of this one. Do you see what I mean? These are so pigmented and it's just hard to blend for me. Well, hard meaning they are still nicely blendable, but it's just more work than if a shade would not be as dark and pigmented for my complexion. Then the last one is also by Glaminatrix, as I said, and it's called Sweet Peach. So yes, this is the update for this round, and because I'm interested in it, I'm going to put together the shades I decluttered from last round as well, and then I'm going to show you every single eyeshadow I decluttered from the chopping block series so far. And yeah, again, I'm going to show you the swatches again as well. So these are all the ones from this round that I'm keeping. It's quite a lot, but yes, and these are the ones I'm going to get rid of. So these are all the shades I'm going to keep. I think there are some in here that I didn't talk about within this chopping block, but as I mentioned with the decluttered ones, I did go through a handful more of my single shades, and yeah. So these are the ones I decided to keep. And these are all the shades I decided to declutter out of my collection. For the first 4 shades, the big one, and the 3 small ones on top of here, these are going straight into the trash because they're super old. And for the other ones, these are going to go to a new home. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this declutter series so far, but this is not everything yet. This is the end so far for my single shades. So I'm stopping focusing on single shades, and I want to focus on some of my palettes and decide whether I want to keep them or not. So this is what I'm going to do next. And yeah, I'm going to show you the 2 palettes I want to focus on next right now. The first one is this Hello Kitty palette by Colourpop, which I got in a mystery box. And this is a super bright yellow palette, which I want to decide whether I want to keep it or not. This I never have used it. I swatched it, but I never used it, so I want to try it out and see if I would like to keep it. I decided to roll in this one now because I am starting to get more neutral shades in my Pandas eyeshadows, and I also have a matte yellow in there now. So I think these shades would work nicely with them. And yeah, that's why I want to focus on this one next. And normally I thought I want to just focus on one palette at a time, but because this is just 4 shades, I want to roll in another palette already. This is the Oden's Eye Alva 2 palette, and this is also on my chopping block. This I won in a giveaway, and I'm super sad to say that this is on my chopping block, but I had this shade Deep Sea in my Pandas eyeshadows before, and I really did not enjoy this. Plus there's 2 glitters in here, which I never use, so I want to try this one out more. Finally, I want to try the mattes, especially because like these 3 mattes are speaking to me, and also this bright orange, and I want to see if I can get along with the other shimmers. Maybe this is a different formula than these, for example, so I want to see if I can get along with them and whether I want to keep this or not. So yes, that's the second palette. So as I just said, these are the 2 palettes I'm going to focus on from now on for this chopping block. I want to use each shade at least once and figure out if the palette's worth keeping or not within my collection. And yeah, I'm going to update you obviously again. This is going to be a little series now because I still have like 3 other palettes or 4 other palettes that I want to decide on still. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it's about time that I might declutter some palettes in my collection because I cannot give all of them my full attention. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. And again, as always, I hope you're doing fine, and I wish you a very nice day. Bye.